There is a price we pay for standing still. It is quiet, almost invisible, but it carves into your life like rust eating away at steel. Most people don't realize they are paying it until they are far too deep into its debt. This is the cost of inaction, not doing what you know you should, not becoming who you know you can, not stepping forward when life calls your name. You know that voice inside you. The one that nudges you to get up earlier, to speak out, to try again, to leave, to stay, to love, to learn, to start. But what do? We wait. We wait for the perfect time. We wait for more confidence. We wait for someone to push us, believe in us, save us. But time doesn't wait with us. It walks on. It keeps ticking. And while we hesitate, life moves on without asking. Think of all the dreams that died not because they were impossible, but because no one acted on them. Think of all the relationships never healed, the books never written, the businesses never started, the apologies never said, the courage never claimed. Not because it couldn't be done, but because it wasn't done. Because someone, somewhere, decided to stay where they were. Because someone said, "I'll do it tomorrow." But tomorrow is not a promise, it's a gamble. Every single time you say later, a piece of your power slips away. Not taking action becomes a habit, and like all habits, it grows roots. Those roots wrap around your confidence, your identity, your hope. You begin to believe that maybe you were never capable. Maybe it was never meant for you. But that's the lie. It was always meant for you. You just never reached for it. People fear failure. They fear rejection, disappointment, effort, change. But they rarely fear regret. Regret is a slow burn. It doesn't hurt loudly like failure. It seeps in quietly, like a cold draft under a locked door. And by the time you realize it's there, it's already made your bones ache. Inaction is not peace. It is not safety. It is the silent killer of joy, progress, and purpose. You have something in you. Everyone does. A spark. A knowing. A hunger to make something of this short, fleeting life. But that spark needs breath. It needs motion. It needs risk. You cannot think your way into a new life. You must move. You must act. You must try, and fail, and get up, and try again. That is the only way. Do not wait for motivation. Motivation comes when you move. Action creates clarity. When you act, even in confusion, you start to see. You start to understand. You get feedback. You grow. But when you stand still, you only get more stuck. You may not be ready. That's okay. You don't need to be ready. You need to be willing. Willing to be uncomfortable. Willing to be a beginner. Willing to fall and rise again. The path to the life you want is through doors you've never opened, through effort you've never given, through fear you've never faced. And the cost of not taking that path? It's everything. Everything you could have been. Everything you could have done. All the lives you could have touched. The stories you could have written. The memories you could have made. That is the cost of inaction. Don't let your future self cry over the chances you never took. Act. Move. Speak. Begin. Because even one step today is better than 10 planned for someday. Someday is a mirage. Today is real. You see, action is not just about achieving big things. It's about honoring your potential in the smallest moments. It's choosing to get up when you'd rather lie down. It's choosing to speak kindly when bitterness would be easier. It's choosing to work on your dream for 5 minutes instead of scrolling through someone else's life for 50. Each small decision either builds you or breaks you. And the truth is, most people are not broken by major failures, they're broken by thousands of tiny acts of inaction. People think the cost of inaction is nothing. That standing still is neutral. But that's the lie that kills progress. Inaction is not neutral, it is negative. Life is not still. While you hesitate, your dreams quietly expire. Your confidence deteriorates. Your belief in yourself withers. Time moves forward and you stay behind, wondering why you feel stuck. You weren't stuck. You just didn't move. Your comfort zone isn't a sanctuary. It's a cage. And the longer you stay in it, the more it convinces you that the world outside is dangerous. But the real danger is in never leaving it. Because if you don't challenge yourself, you never change yourself. You can read all the books, watch all the speeches, pray all the prayers, but if you don't act, nothing changes. Ask yourself, what would your life look like if you had started a year ago? Where would you be if you hadn't waited? What pain are you carrying today because you refused to act yesterday? Inaction doesn't preserve your energy, it drains it. It fills your heart with questions that will never have answers. It makes you restless, agitated, unsatisfied. Because deep down, you know you were meant for more. You know there is more inside you. And pretending like you don't hear that voice doesn't silence it, it only makes it scream louder in the quiet moments. You were not created to live halfway. You were not made for mediocrity. There's something in you aching to be born. A version of you that is braver, bolder, stronger, freer. But that version is on the other side of action. It's not going to be handed to you. You have to build it. One choice at a time. Do not underestimate the power of a single action. A single conversation can change your life. A single workout can renew your strength. A single step can shift your direction. You don't need a full plan, you need a next step. And when you take that step, the next one will appear. Life rewards the movers, not the wishers. No one is going to come save you. No one is going to do it for you. You have to become your own rescue. Your own hero. And heroes are not born, they are made in moments of decision. They are forged in the fires of resistance. They rise when everything inside them says to stay down. And they act, even when they are afraid. You may fail. Yes. That is part of it. But failure is never as costly as inaction. Failure teaches. Failure sharpens. Failure prepares you. But inaction just steals from you. It leaves you with nothing but empty hands and a tired soul. So what will you do? Keep waiting? Or start moving? You don't have to leap. Just take one step. One bold, imperfect, terrifying step. And then another. And then another. That is how lives are transformed, not in one grand gesture, but in a series of quiet, persistent, courageous choices. This is your moment. Not tomorrow. Not next week. Right now. Action is the bridge between where you are and where you want to be. Cross it. No matter how narrow, no matter how shaky. Just start. Because the cost of inaction is far too high. Every day, the world offers you two choices: step forward into growth or step back into comfort. But what most people don't realize is that stepping back isn't rest, it's retreat. It's choosing to remain exactly where you are, even when everything inside you whispers that you were meant for something different, something more. Inaction doesn't just pause your progress. It erodes your identity. When you stop moving, you start questioning. Am I capable? Am I worthy? Am I enough? These questions don't come because you've failed, they come because you haven't even tried. The voice of doubt is always loudest when the heart is silent from inaction. And this doubt, it grows. It doesn't stay still. It builds on itself until it becomes a mountain that looks impossible to climb. But here's the truth: that mountain wasn't built by reality. It was built by hesitation. By waiting. By telling yourself, I'll do it tomorrow, so many times that now you don't believe you'll ever do it at all. Inaction convinces you that you're protecting yourself. That you're being safe, careful, wise. But you're not avoiding pain, you're just trading one kind of pain for another. The pain of effort, of risk, of struggle is temporary. It passes. But the pain of regret? That lasts. It sinks deep. It colors how you see yourself. It dims your light from the inside out. You were not meant to live in the shadow of your potential. You were made to shine in it. And yes, the light may hurt at first. Yes, Stepping out may sting. But it's better to be hurt by growth than to be numbed by stagnation. It's better to feel the sharp edge of effort than the slow death of doing nothing. There are people who will never meet the best version of you because you're still hiding. There are lives that will never be touched, hearts that will never be moved, dreams that will never be realized, not because you weren't good enough, but because you never moved. Think about that. Think about what the world loses when you refuse to act. You may think your actions are small, insignificant. But small acts done consistently can change everything. A drop of water doesn't look powerful, but enough drops can carve stone. Your small choices matter. They build momentum, and momentum is the force that turns an ordinary person into a force of change. But here's the challenge: the beginning will never feel easy. It's not supposed to. That's the test. That resistance you feel? That's your mind trying to keep you where it's comfortable. It's the siren song of your old self, trying to keep you from becoming your true self. But you don't grow in ease. You grow in struggle. Don't run from the struggle. Don't curse it. Embrace it. Welcome it like a personal trainer who sees something in you and pushes you harder because they know you're capable. That discomfort is not your enemy, it's your signal. It's telling you that you're entering the place where transformation happens. And no, you won't always feel strong. You won't always feel inspired. But you don't need to be perfect. You just need to be committed. Commitment means showing up, even when it's hard. Especially when it's hard. Because that's when it counts. That's when you rewrite your story. So show up. For yourself. For your future. For the people who need what only you can give. Don't let fear of imperfection keep you from progress. Don't let the weight of what if keep you from what could be. Act now. Start now. Because the cost of inaction is not just what you lose, it's who you lose. And you are worth not losing. There's a quiet war that wages within us daily. A war between the voice that tells us to rise and the one that tempts us to rest. Between the part of us that dreams and the part of us that doubts. And every time we choose not to act, we lose a little bit of that war. We let fear win. We let comfort win. We let passivity take ground that belongs to purpose. You might not feel it today. You might not feel it tomorrow. But one day, you'll wake up and wonder where all your time went. You'll ask why things haven't changed. You'll look back and realize that it wasn't bad luck or outside forces that stole your potential, it was hesitation. It was all the moments you said not yet, and maybe later, and someday. Let that truth sting. Let it shake you awake. Because if it hurts, it means there's still time. Time to turn around. Time to start small. Time to make today the day you decide to fight for yourself. You don't need to feel ready. That's a myth. Readiness isn't something you wait for, it's something you create. You become ready by doing? By trying. By failing and adjusting. The people who succeed in this world are not the ones who wait for confidence. They are the ones who show up without it and earn it through action. Understand this: your life is your responsibility. Not your parents. Not your friends. Not your bosses. Not your partners. Yours. That's not meant to scare you, it's meant to empower you. Because when you realize no one is coming to save you, you also realize no one can stop you. So stop hiding behind excuses. Stop telling yourself the story that you're not enough, not smart enough, not experienced enough. Those are lies your comfort zone tells you to keep you inside its walls. But outside those walls? That's where the magic happens. That's where life opens up. And yes, it's uncomfortable. Yes, it's messy. But it's real. It's yours. You are not powerless. Every action, no matter how small, is a declaration of who you choose to be. Every time you show up, you tell the world, I'm here. I'm trying. I'm not done yet. And that matters. It matters more than you know. Think about what your life would look like if you acted on just one thing you've been avoiding. One dream. One goal. One decision. How would that ripple through the rest of your life? How would it change your energy, your confidence, your relationships? That change is possible. It's within reach. But you have to move. You have to act. Because while action carries the risk of failure, inaction guarantees it. This isn't just about achieving something big. It's about becoming someone you can be proud of. Someone who tries. Someone who cares enough to fight for their own life. Someone who refuses to let fear decide their future. Make a choice today. To start. To speak. To stand. To take one step forward, even if it's shaky, even if it's unsure. That step matters. Because it's a step away from the life you don't want and toward the one you do. You owe it to yourself to try. You owe it to the people who believe in you, even when you don't. You owe it to the future you who's hoping you'll be brave enough to begin. Inaction is easy. But ease is a lie. It keeps you small. It keeps you quiet. It keeps you stuck. Choose movement. Choose effort. Choose growth. Even when it's hard. Especially when it's hard. Because the cost of inaction is not just your dreams, it's your soul. There is something sacred about the decision to begin. It is a declaration that you refuse to be ruled by fear. That you will no longer sit quietly as life passes you by. That your potential matters enough to fight for. And yet, how often do we ignore that moment? How often do we feel the call to move, and silence it? You weren't born to live numb. You weren't made to wake up every day with the weight of what you didn't do pressing down on your chest. That weight doesn't come from doing too much, it comes from doing too little of what actually matters. From pretending your dreams are a luxury you can't afford. But your dream is not a luxury. It is your responsibility. Some people will try to tell you it's okay to wait. That life is long. That you have time. But life isn't measured in years, it's measured in moments. And moments pass. Opportunities expire. People move on. Circumstances shift. The only time you ever own is now. Think of all the energy you spend avoiding what you know you need to do. The stories you tell yourself. The distractions you dive into. The mental gymnastics of later and maybe next week. That energy could build something beautiful. But instead, it's burned up in fear. Action liberates. It frees your mind from the clutter of overthinking. It puts you back in control. Even a flawed action is better than perfect indecision. Because from movement, you get feedback. From feedback, you get clarity. From clarity, you get direction. And from direction, you get momentum. You don't need to be special. You don't need to have everything figured out. You just need to want it enough to start. You need to value your growth more than your comfort. Your purpose more than your pride. The world doesn't need more people who are safe and silent. It needs people who are alive with intention. Who show up raw and real and ready to grow. People who care more about their future than their fear. Don't get to the end of your life with unused courage still in your bones. Don't look back wishing you had spoken up, stepped up, stood out. This life is not a rehearsal. It is the stage. And you don't need permission to play your part. There is power in showing up. Even when you're tired. Even when you're unsure. Even when no one else believes in you. Show up anyway. Because each time you do, you prove to yourself that you can. And that proof builds strength. That strength becomes confidence. That confidence becomes change. So write the email. Make the call. Hit the gym. Say the words. Start the thing. Do it messy. Do it scared. Do it now. Because you will never regret trying. But you will regret not trying. You owe yourself a life of effort, not excuses. A life of progress, not postponement. You're not here to just survive your days. You're here to live them. Fully. Boldly. Authentically. The cost of inaction is not a bill you see today. It's one you pay slowly, over time, with your spirit. With your joy. With your dreams. Don't wait. The time is not coming, it's here. And so are you. You don't need a sign. You don't need a breakthrough. You need a decision. Right now. Because nothing changes until you change something. It doesn't matter how many times you started and stopped. It doesn't matter how long you've waited. The only thing that matters is what you do next. Somewhere inside you, you already know what needs to be done. Maybe it's a conversation you've been avoiding. A goal you've pushed aside. A change you've feared too much to face. That thing, the one you think about when the world gets quiet, that's where your life begins again. But it won't come to you. You have to go to it. We think clarity comes before courage. It doesn't. Courage comes first. You act before you know. You move before you see the full picture, and the moment you do, the fog starts to lift. The first step doesn't take you where you want to go, it breaks the grip of paralysis. That's its job. Understand this, the pain of action is sharp, but it fades. The pain of inaction is dull, but it lingers. It follows you into every part of your life. It makes you question your worth. It makes you shrink in your own skin. And that's the heaviest burden, to know you're capable but not be living like it. You've got dreams. Not fantasies. Not fairy tales. Real dreams. The kind that make your heart race when you think about them. The kind that feel both terrifying and right. That's how you know they're real. And those dreams, they're waiting on you. Not the world. Not the perfect conditions. You. Fear will always have a voice. But it doesn't get a vote. Your future is not shaped by your feelings, it's shaped by your choices. Feel the fear, yes. But don't feed it. Don't let it write your story. Let your values write it. Let your mission write it. Let your belief in something better guide your hand. You don't need more motivation. You need more movement. Because movement breeds momentum. And once you have momentum, things change. You stop second guessing. You stop overthinking. You start building. You start becoming. You are not stuck because life is unfair. You are stuck because you've been still for too long. Movement creates power. Stillness, when it's born of fear, creates suffering. Break the cycle. Start the motion. And yes, people might judge you. Let them. That's their story, not yours. Your job is not to be understood. Your job is to be real. To be in alignment. To be in action. Because the person who moves with truth will always outpace the one who waits with fear. This is not about changing everything overnight. This is about changing something today. Anything. One thought. One word. One action. You'll be amazed how one shift can open up 100 doors. You have been given one life. One chance. And every second you wait is a second you cannot get back. You deserve to live fully, to move boldly, to try fearlessly. Not someday. Now. The cost of inaction is too high. Don't let it bankrupt the beauty of what your life could become. You don't have to look far to see the consequences of inaction. They are everywhere. In the silent frustration behind tired eyes. In the restless sleep of someone who knows they could be more. In the bitterness that grows where dreams once lived. This isn't about guilt. It's about awakening. Realizing that every time you delay, something inside you dims. You don't have forever. That's not a threat, it's a truth. One that's meant to set you free. Because once you truly grasp that time is finite, you stop wasting it on fear. You stop letting other people's opinions dictate your path. You stop treating your potential like it can wait. People often ask, what if I fail? But the better question is, what if I don't try? What if the life you want is waiting on the other side of one bold move? What if everything changes the moment you stop holding back? That possibility is real. But you'll never know if you don't step. And it's not about being fearless. It's about being brave. Bravery doesn't mean you feel no fear, it means you choose to move anyway. Even with shaking hands. Even with doubt in your chest. Even when no one is clapping. because you're not doing it for applause. You're doing it for you. You're doing it because your life is too important to waste. Because there is something you were made to give. And if you don't give it, the world will be missing a piece only you can offer. That's not pressure. That's purpose. And purpose isn't found, it's forged. In the fire of action. In the heat of hard days. In the ache of persistence. You discover who you are not by thinking, but by doing. And who you become is built through every choice to keep going. There's a voice inside you that knows. It whispers when you're quiet. It tugs at you when you ignore it. And the more you delay, the quieter it becomes, not because it's gone, but because it's tired of being unheard. Don't wait until that voice goes silent. Listen now. Move now. And yes, it will be hard. You will face obstacles. You will doubt. You will want to quit. But you will also grow. You will surprise yourself. You will find strength you didn't know you had. And when you look back, you won't remember how scared you were, you'll remember how powerful it felt to choose yourself. Inaction asks nothing of you. But it takes everything. It takes your fire. Your direction. Your hope. Don't let it. Take back your power. Reclaim your days. Every one of them is a chance to become more alive. So breathe deep. Stand tall. And begin. Again, and again, and again. That's how greatness is built, not in one moment, but in the decision to not stop. Because the true cost of inaction is not just the life you could have lived, it's the person you could have become. There's something sacred about effort. About showing up when it's hard. About choosing action even when no one is watching. This world teaches us to perform, to impress, to be seen. But the deepest power comes from the moments no one sees, when you decide to move simply because your future matters to you. You're not lazy. You're not lost. You're just tired of the weight that comes from standing still. That tension you feel? It's not weakness. It's potential pulling at you, begging to be used. It's your spirit reminding you that this life was never meant to be a quiet surrender. It was meant to be a bold offering. You will never regret the effort you give to something that matters. Even if it's hard. Even if it doesn't go as planned. Because the effort itself changes you. It strengthens your spine. It clears your mind. It heals the doubt. Inaction, on the other hand, poisons everything. It turns your passion into restlessness. Your hope into bitterness. Your confidence into silence. And all the while, the clock keeps ticking. Not to pressure you, but to remind you, this is it. This is your life. Not some future fantasy. Not some daydream that lives only in your head. This. Right now. Every second is a canvas. Every day, a new stroke. Will you leave it blank, or will you create something you're proud of? No one's coming to push you. No one's coming to force your hand. That's your role. You are the author here. You hold the pen. And every action you take writes another line in your story. Make it a story worth reading. Make it one that says, I didn't wait. I didn't waste. I lived. When you act, you send a message to yourself, I matter. My future matters. My dreams are worth the work. That message echoes. It changes how you carry yourself. How you speak. How you walk through the world. It lifts you, even in struggle. It grounds you, even in storms. And here's the most beautiful part, action inspires more action. One brave step leads to another. One small win fuels the next. Momentum builds. And suddenly, the life that once felt out of reach is the one you're living. You were made to move mountains, but you start by moving one stone. Start there. Start where you are. Start with what you have. You don't need to be extraordinary, you just need to be willing. Willing to try. Willing to learn. Willing to keep going. Let go of perfection. It's not your goal, it's your trap. Perfection says wait. Progress says move. Choose progress. Choose now. Because every excuse has an expiration date. And the only thing worse than trying and failing is failing to try. This world needs your courage. Not when it's easy, but now, when it's hard. Your action can light the way for others. Your story can be someone else's turning point. But first, you must act. The cost of inaction is not just personal, it's generational. It ripples beyond you. It shapes your legacy. So don't let fear write your ending. Let faith write your beginning. There is no perfect moment. There is only now. Waiting for everything to align is just a sophisticated way of stalling. The people who rise, who thrive, who live fully, they act despite the mess. Despite the fear. Despite the odds. They don't wait to feel ready, because they know readiness is a lie that comfort tells to keep you still. Inaction doesn't just freeze your progress, it freezes your soul. It keeps you watching instead of doing, dreaming instead of living. And the longer you stay in that space, the harder it is to remember what action even feels like. But it's never too late to wake up. It's never too late to reclaim your fire. You don't need to leap into the unknown. You just need to lean into it. Just enough to break inertia. Just enough to hear your own courage louder than your fear. Action isn't about eliminating fear, it's about putting it in the backseat and driving anyway. There's a rhythm to growth. Start, stumble, adjust, repeat. It's not glamorous. It's not neat. But it's real. And in the mess, you find your strength. In the struggle, you discover your character. You don't need to have everything figured out to begin. In fact, you never will. That's what makes it a journey. Think about what you want to remember when this life winds down. Not how clean your house was. Not how safe your choices were. But who you became. Who you impacted. How fiercely you showed up for what mattered. The cost of inaction is a silent theft. It robs you of memories never made, joy never felt, lives never touched. And while action may bring scars, inaction leaves nothing but void. A blank space where your life could have exploded with color. This is your wake-up call. To stop shrinking. To stop rehearsing your pain. To stop apologizing for wanting more. Wanting more is not greed. It's gratitude in motion. It's honoring the gift of life by living it to the fullest. You won't be everyone's cup of tea. Not everyone will understand your urgency, your fire, your hunger. That's okay. They weren't meant to. The life you're building isn't for their approval, it's for your soul. So take the next step. Speak the truth. Make the move. Because every time you act, you teach yourself that you can trust yourself. That you are reliable. That when the moment comes, you show up. And showing up, that's everything. It's how dreams are built. How mountains are moved. How legacies are shaped. Not by waiting. By working. Not by planning. By doing. You are here for a reason. And that reason won't be fulfilled if you stay still. The world is waiting for what only you can offer. Don't keep it waiting any longer. Because the cost of inaction is not just a life unlived, it's a soul unexpressed. This is it. The final reminder. The last echo before the silence. Not to scare you, but to stir you. Because if there's anything worth holding on to, it's this: life is not meant to be tiptoed through. It is meant to be met with open hands, open eyes, and an open heart. You have walked through this journey of words, but now the real journey begins. The journey of doing, of living, of no longer watching life from the sidelines but diving into it with everything you have. This is your moment to decide, not just once, but every day, that you will not let another day pass you by untouched, unnoticed, unlived. Regret is the heaviest burden because it doesn't ask permission. It creeps in slowly, feeding on all the things you didn't do. It's not the things we try and fail at that haunt us, it's the chances we never took. The conversations we never had. The truths we never voiced. The love we never gave. The life we never lived because we were too afraid to begin. But that's not your ending. That doesn't have to be your story. From this day on, make your choices count. Choose growth over comfort. Choose purpose over fear. Choose now over later. Because every single choice you make is either building the life you want, or burying it deeper. You are not too late. You are not too broken. You are not too lost. You are right on time. With exactly what you need to begin. You don't have to do it all today. Just do something. Send the message. Start the journal. Speak the truth. Take the walk. Set the boundary. Make the list. Apply for the job. Forgive. Apologize. Ask. Learn. Begin. You are not powerless. You are powerful. And every small act of courage adds up. Like water carving through stone, your consistent, honest, imperfect effort will shape a life that feels like your own. So stop waiting. Stop doubting. Stop letting the days drift by. Act. Live. Move. Because the cost of inaction is not just lost time, it's a lost life. And you were never meant to be lost. You were meant to be found in your own fire. In your action. In your becoming. So go. Become. Stay tuned for more motivational audios like this.